You are watching Radio VTV. I am your science host, Professor McGillacutty DynaMatt. No, Professor DynaMatt McGillacutty. I don't even know my own name anymore. And I am joined with Dr. Adriana Costa.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. So, you recently graduated with your degree in psychology, with your PhD in psychology.
I did.
And
I did.
There you go. And you have some stuff to tell us about it.
Yeah, so I was going to talk a little bit about my dissertation research, which is on relationships and incarceration, and specifically the experiences that women have when their partner is released from prison. Because a lot of the time we think about somebody going to prison and that oftentimes being a difficult experience. But what we don't consider is that those people going to prison have families. They have children, they have partners that they leave behind. And they also have a very hard time, both while their partner is in prison and then also when their partner gets out. Oftentimes you think of the difficulty being done once their partner is released, but that is not often the case, and adapting to life outside of prison can be really, really hard for folks. So what I did is I interviewed women whose partners were recently released from prison to talk about the challenges they experienced, the expectations they had for their relationships, and what kinds of supports they needed. And I found these women through a great organization called 10 Toes In that I want to highlight. And they're based in LA, and they're actually founded by a woman whose partner was in prison for 25 years. And she found that there was little to no support for her. So she founded this organization that provides support groups virtually and in person for women and couples impacted by incarceration. So some of the expectations that women had for their relationships when their partners were released from prison were basically pretty simple things. They wanted their partners to rejoin the family, to be involved in their children's lives, to find a job, and contribute financially to the family, and of course to follow the law. But that is really not as simple a lot of the time as it sounds, because there are a lot of barriers that people face. Even just finding a job, you have to check a box a lot of the time that says that you have a criminal record, and a lot of people won't hire you. A lot of people won't let you live in certain places if you have a criminal record. And on top of that, when you leave prison, a lot of the time you have a lot of mental health challenges. Already, most of the people that are incarcerated initially have a lot of mental health challenges. And then there's the trauma of actually being in prison and experiencing violence a lot of the time and adapting to that environment. That can make it really hard when you get out. Just think of, for example, think of how quickly technology evolves. And if you're gone for 10 plus years, you might come out and you might not know how to work an iPhone, how to work a car. Imagine seeing a Tesla if you've never seen an electronic car before. You wouldn't know how to work that thing at all.
I don't know how to work it.
I don't either. So a lot of these things can be really, really challenging and can mean that a lot of relationships don't survive incarceration. And if they do survive incarceration, don't survive the period after incarceration. So what's really important is for these couples and for these women to have support. And a lot of the folks that I spoke to felt like there really wasn't very much of that. And they felt like they needed more support groups. They needed mental health professionals that understood what they were going through. Because a lot of the time they felt judged by people in their personal lives or even by mental health professionals that they spoke to who were wondering, why would you stay in a relationship with this person? And that's really not a helpful thing to hear when you're already in that situation. So overall, I think more support is definitely needed for this population. And a lot of these couples also needed to learn things. The partners that were released needed to learn employable skills. They needed to learn how to have a healthy relationship and how to communicate with their partners and their family members again.
They just need understanding. And it probably takes support all around. And it's awesome that you're working on this and helping to, because it starts with understanding. It's so cool. Well, thank you so much for coming here today and talking to us about this. We really appreciate it. I didn't want to cut you off though. If you have, okay, so perfect. All right. So where can people go to learn more? 10 Toes, I'm guessing?
10 Toes In is a great resource. There's also just a lot of social media connection is where a lot of women found other people. There's also lots of research. I'm happy to link my research as well if that would be helpful.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description.
Okay.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.